Hello, my brothers and sisters. I want to share a dream with you guys. I had this dream on the 13th of June, 2022. I was awoken at 11:54, and this is what I saw. So I saw myself going to see a friend, and he was at a hospital. When I arrived, I saw a vehicle parked on the ramp by an emergency entrance. This vehicle was broken in half. I went inside. This broken transport vehicle had no back end. It was literally cut in half. I crawled inside and I saw two of my old friends, Alicia and Tony. They looked beat up and frail and very haggard. I told them I have a message of life and death to share with you. I told Tony, because I looked at him first, and I said to him he only had to tell me what the gospel was and that I would leave. And he started to cower away from me in the corner of the van. And he started to manifest into a scoffing spirit. Like literally he was sitting there holding his arms around his knees, and he started to say all sorts of bad words towards me, and he began to make fun of me. I raised my hand out at him, my right hand, facing over him, and I called out the spirit by saying, I rebuke it. He then manifested in what seemed like an Asian man, like a small Chinese man with glasses on his face. And he started speaking in a very strange tongue. And I rebuked this spirit also. And it went away. Now, I had his wife's attention because she was watching this happen in front of her. I told him that his testimony could help save all of his friends. Then he began to listen. I told him that God came for me because I used to live completely out of flesh, just like he was. I explained how shepherds raise their sheep and they only hear his voice. I told him Jesus is calling him through me. His wife started to cry because she knew in spirit that I spoke the truth and that I had told her how I used to be. In the past, we had worked together, both of them. He asked me why he should care. I told him God showed me two of his closest friends who also needed help, and God was calling out to them. I said everyone is God's children, but only his sheep hear him. I told him again, your testimony is what will save others. This group of people all suffered many bondages of drugs and alcohol and many other things of the flesh in forms of abuse. God allowed me to see them spiritually, and they looked like they were starving. I asked Tony if he was ready to hear the truth, and he said yes. And at the same exact time, his friends started pouring in to this van and to see what was happening. Tony came closer and I embraced him in a hug, and I told him how to invite God into his heart. The other people were just starting to get hostile when I left. I noticed my vehicle outside was stolen, so I went inside this hospital to ask if anyone had seen anything. And the woman I spoke to said, I'm not from here, I'm from Ohio. And I saw another woman come out of a bathroom, and she was waiting to have a baby. And I woke up at that time. So the interesting part here, and I'm going to put up the scripture about the time this dream happened at. And my friends, I want to tell you, the most important part of this dream was that in spirit I was given an example of Saul. Just look at who Saul was before he became the Apostle Paul. Like, you couldn't have picked another example of a man who was living on the other side of the fence, and he turned his life around and he did good with it. Like, he became a Christian, he had the revelation of Jesus Christ, and he brought so many Gentiles to faith and taught about being in faith. So when I received this dream, I thought it was just for me to talk to my friends Tony and Alicia, because I actually have real friends I worked ambulance with. But it wasn't that. It was just an example he gave me, and it's always something I can see and I can relate to. The point of this story is you're going to be judged for what you didn't do. And as a child of God, we're supposed to be the light in the world. You're supposed to at least try to plant a seed with somebody. And many of you, and God made this very clear in prayer last night, many of his children, they're not doing that. You can't walk around saying you're a Christian and you don't do anything. There's a reason he said don't just be a hearer, be a doer also. This is very, very serious. If you know what times we're living in, definitely the end of times, and you know that you could actually save somebody from being in tribulation by your words, by your testimony, please take this to prayer. Take this seriously. You might be the difference in one person's life. And what did Jesus say to the apostles? When one sheep is brought back to the flock, everybody in heaven cheers. Remember that. Go back to the Word. Go back and read. If you want to know God's character, you have to read about it. Read it in the Holy Scriptures. It's not by accident they call it the Holy Scriptures. And it's not by accident Jesus is called the Holy One. Please take this to heart. Pray to God about it. Use your discernment. This is more than just a warning. This is actually God telling you, do what I asked of you. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.